Thank you for supporting cinema. I thank God I was invited here for this wonderful honor. But I always wanted to get out and thank the public, not only for the support of my career for 45 years, which is older than most of you in this room and older than Josh.
Not quite.
But without the fan, there is no actor. So thank you so much for what you've given us in theater and cinema. Give yourself a hand.
So we're sort of coming to the home stretch.
No.
And we're here
I love
for
it here.
Sheba Baby,
Yeah.
which was your second film in your 3-picture deal with American International Pictures. Am I right?
No, Fox. It was my third.
It was your third. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Foxy Brown was my second.
Was your second. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Talk a little bit about that deal and how that came to be.
Well, American International Pictures was impressed with the box office of Roger Corman's films that I had done, where I was playing organically for My Truth. I didn't consider those films a B movie because I was studying Stanislavski, my teacher. So I approach those films as if it was, Chekhov, even though with a wet T-shirt. And that organic energy Roger loved. And so he kept me there to do 2 more pictures, and that was for my college tuition because I wasn't going to be an actor. I wanted to be a part of the film crew anywhere. So the success was so monumental. My agent, John Gaines, who was my fairy gay mother, said, hey, Pam's good, the dailies are great, we need to move her back into really the American mainstream. We want to do this. Because the films were, I think the Roger Corman films were $250,000 and they were making like $5-6 million. And then, so John, after I did Black Mama, White Mama for AIP, it was the first AIP film, it did so well. And it was basically the Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis film based on that. I know. I loved it. And it did so well. They said, okay, done. So Jack Hill had written The Big Dollhouse, a couple of films for Roger Corman. And he was tapped to engage me, come up with a story that would reflect African American culture. And that's how Coffee came about. And because that I had done so well and I was professional, they liked my attitude. I had such respect for the industry. They offered me a 3-picture deal. And the great thing about it is Jack said, Pam, let's go in the community and let's write something that reflects your family, your community, what's happening with Jim Crow, politics, drugs, things that we're trying to address in the community. And Jack, I had told Jack, I said, well, there's a lot of men who have done formulaic films before me. Fred Williamson, Jim Brown, Isaac Hayes and Truck Turner, Richard Roundtree, and men approach solving problems differently than women. She's shaking her head, going, yeah, baby. I know, let me tell you, I have to deal with it every day, don't we? And so I said, Jack, this is what I'd like to see. My mom is a nurse. And in the community, the ambulance doesn't come to our neighborhood in East Denver. So she's always stitching up somebody in the kitchen when I come home. And I said, and she stands up. She really fights for the hood. She's my idol, my heroine. This is Coffee. And Coffee was based on my mom. And my mom comes from the Black West. My aunt, Foxy Brown, they all come from this environment. My grandfather was the first feminist in my life. We're all up there on his farm in Wyoming, where he taught me how to hunt and fish and shoot. And basically, that's who these characters were. And I love the fact that Jack wanted something organic again, because that's how he started working with me. And we came up with storylines. We didn't want to sweep the crime under the rug anymore. We wanted to meet it head on from a perspective of a woman. And that's how they came about. And Coffee was a nurse. Foxy Brown was a little bit more aggressive politically. Sheba Baby went into another direction. And then it was still so good, we did Friday Foster. And Eartha Kitt, that was her first film when she came back to the States. And I had to have her be in that film because I loved her so much and had so much. I literally exalted her. And I just sat at her feet to listen to her life. You know, she's one of my idols. So that's how it came about. And it did very, very well. Women were saying, that's me, that's me. Yeah. You know, and the fan mail, the letters that I received, and men were saying, yeah, that's my woman.
One other thing I want to touch on really quickly. This is the only film that you did with William Girdler.
Yes.
I believe, who was an interesting guy. I mean, he directed some good horror films. And
yes.
And he died very early.
He did die very young, unfortunately.
In the Philippines. Yeah, I was just reading that. So
well, what I loved working with really innovative and creative directors because we were working on such an economy of a budget. And Quentin Tarantino, who wrote Jackie Brown for me, realized there was a style from working with an economy. The scenes were longer, less cutting in post-production, so the actors had to be better prepared. And the lighting was a little bit more shadowy, shady, you know, it just had a little bit more style. So Quentin wanted to do that with Jackie Brown, which looks timeless. You don't know if it's 70s, 80s, or 90s because of the car, the costumes, the furniture in her apartment, you know, and that's the way he is. That's how he works. So you learn from other directors and their styles. And I learned that because I hope to direct one day and be back here again with some projects. But hopefully I'm influenced by what I've learned from great directors, Roger Corman, Jack Hill, Bill Girdler, Quentin Tarantino, John Carpenter, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks and I had a lovely time when I did Larry Crown for him a couple of years ago. His passion and his producer, Gary Guest, I work with Roger Corman. So great influences.
Well, we have other things to do, so we're going to end it now and start the movie.
What are we going to do? Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. So, thank you again.
No, thank you. Why are you thanking me?
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. And enjoy Sheba Baby.
Sheba Baby. And in Sheba Baby was the first film that Kawasaki wanted to show or display their jet ski. And I got to use the jet ski in it and ride all over, and it was excellent to do that. It was the first time a personal watercraft was shown in a film, and they thought I could do it. And they gave me one. Girls, go buy your own jet ski and pick up the boys.
Thanks, everybody.